The Marvelous Land of Oz. Let's get into it. So I have the complete collection of Oz, which if we can focus on it real quick, there you go. Complete collection of Oz. This is volume 1 that includes The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, The Marvelous Land of Oz, and Ozma of Oz. So these are three of the first books, or three of the books, the first 3 books that are in the Oz series written by L. Frank Baum. So we already touched on The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, so we're on to the second one. We're deeper in Oz now. The Marvelous Land of Oz deals with this dude named Tip. Tip is in Gillikin country. The Gillikins, the land of the Gillikins, is in the north part of Oz. North part in the land of Oz. In the north, there's the Gillikins. To the east, there's Munchkins, which Dorothy started in Munchkin land. Quadlings are to the south, and they are where Glinda the Good Witch is. And to the west are the Winkies, with the Tin Woodman. Now, it still is branching off of leaving where it left off, but they don't really say years after or whatever. But Tip, he's coming from the north. He's a boy who does not know his parents, doesn't know anything other than he was brought to this old lady named Mombi, and she's pretty much his guardian. He doesn't like her. And first, this is spoiler free. I'm only giving the introduction just to give you a little gist. He doesn't like her, and long story short, it gets to the point to where, of course, his feelings are justified, because now, for some reason, she doesn't like him either. So she pretty much gets some magic, and she tells this little boy that I'm gonna turn you into a marble statue. Of course, he's like, a marble statue? What is it? What good is a boy being a marble statue? I can't do anything. So he pretty much chooses for himself to be like, I'm out of here. So he sets off on his journey, and in doing so, he has friends, Jack the Pumpkinhead, meet Wogglebug, but he pretty much meets up with the Tin Woodman and the Scarecrow, and they go on their own adventure of Oz, right, to Emerald City. At first, Tip doesn't know, I just want to get out of here. Then he gets to the point to where, like, all right, well, this is the yellow brick road, and then boom, he knows of Oz, and he pretty much does, and like I said in the first video, if you haven't watched it, you can go back and see the overview of the Wonderful Wizard of Oz, the first book in the series. He does know, Tip knows of Dorothy. He knows of Scarecrow. He knows of the Tin Woodman. He knows of the Lion. All throughout the land of Oz, Dorothy's story and Dorothy's adventure is spread word. Everybody in Oz knows about Dorothy, all of her friends, their whole adventure, everything. So, pretty much, this is just telling about Tip's journey to Oz. And as you can probably, in here, it says, his life has changed forever. We're not giving spoilers in this one. You're going to have to wait for the next one. But, oh man. For this to be a children's book, and for this to be, what was it, about 200 something pages, I would recommend this to anybody. I would recommend it to anybody. But of course, these are not standalone novels. So you gotta start back at The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. You gotta start. Even though I say this is a different story, you gotta start. Because a lot of what happened up there is what's going to literally, book 1 just like sticks Oz in your mind. Like it's never gonna leave. Then book 2 is like, all right, now that we in Oz, who's this guy? Then you go along here, and then you like, okay, I remember this because this happened, and boom, 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 boom. On top of Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman, they're reminiscing their journey too. Yeah, this happened. Then you see Glinda, who was in the first one. So yeah, all of these, and then that's when you start to getting up, like when you really get into it. That's why And I mentioned this in book 1 video. When you're reading children's books, and especially why I recommend this is because you get into, as children, we all, we're steeped in our imagination. And our imagination allowed us to have, we didn't need any friends. We didn't need anybody to verify, validate what we said. We didn't care. We didn't care what we looked like. We didn't care how we sounded like. We were very blunt, very honest. Everything about a kid is freedom, like freedom in all aspects. But particularly, the reason why I recommend these books is because the way these characters are written, the way the world building is set up and it's developed, and you traverse it with the characters, right? You're along for the journey, but still, the way all of it is set up, it does make it seem like you're along the journey and these are your friends too. Like, this is not just, oh, you're learning about the Scarecrow. Like, you're in there with them. So yeah, I recommend a 5-star. It's probably gonna continue to be 5 stars, not gonna lie, because number 1, I'm documenting my journey. Number 2, I have a special connection with The Wizard of Oz, because I've always held that as my top, not number 1, but it's in my top movies of all time, right along with The Wiz, both of them. As I said in the first one, I damn cried when I was watching watching the movies, and then that's what led me to, like, you know what, I got the series. Then led me to get right into it. So definitely I would recommend this to everybody to read. I would recommend this series for everybody to read. These books, I am going to continue doing ratings and reviews of these, give a brief overview, and I'm gonna have spoiler and spoiler free. It could be more efficient to do it in one video, but I honestly will go on for probably about an hour if I get it. It's that good. But we're gonna get into that. Trust and believe. You'll see those. But yeah, I'm gonna continue going through this because I have all 14 books. Like I said, this is the complete collection. I got this around COVID time, post-COVID. So there's 3 in 1. There's 14. So in one of the volumes you're gonna have 2. But I would recommend you get on Amazon and get that, and just lap them all up, because after the first one you're gonna want, because like I said in the dedication, he said there was literally what was her name? He said she is a Dorothy. There was this girl who came, made the journey to come and see L. Frank Baum, and was telling them, like, what happened to the Tin Woodman? What happened to Scarecrow? On top of all the letters that were written. So this is how he ventured more into, like, all right, we're gonna make this second book into the third book, and blah 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 blah. Between 1900 and 1904 is all of those letters being written and him writing it, because it was published in 1904. But yeah, I will say this does have that effect. Like many books, it does have those characters within that will make you, you do the little Arthur fist in frustration. But especially you being a kid, anyway, because we're all big kids anyway. None of us really grew up. We just took on more responsibilities, and our mind got more structured to deal with those responsibilities. But that kid never left, right? That kid has always been in your mind, and that kid resides in your right brain, right? But you were programmed to believe that your left brain was how you deal with reality, how you create your life, how you enjoy yourself, how you find yourself. You find yourself by going home within yourself. And home, the most important, when we remember home, even though there are traumatic events, what everybody really always looks back to when they were a kid. The freedom that you had as a kid, the freedom that you thought, or how you viewed the world as a kid, how you viewed yourself as a kid. Even if you quote unquote didn't know yourself, you did. This is why you acted the way you did. This is why you were free. That's the truest part of yourself. The part of yourself that you're, as an adult and going through all of that, that is the lie. That is literally, along with the show Severance, that is where your mind got severed. You started doing switching here and there. You started switching personalities. Oh, I gotta behave this way here. I gotta behave this way here. I gotta behave this way here. True freedom is I'm the same guy, I'm the same gal everywhere. I think the same way, I speak the same way. Right? There's no rules, no laws, no limitations, no morals. That's where the imagination comes in. So, like I said, with this series, Frank Baum did a wonderful job of placing me personally into this, and it got me so excited. Like when I finished the second book, I'm like, oh, we just gonna keep this going. We just gonna keep it going. Like, I'm glad not many books have that many in there. And plus, for it to be 200 something pages, it's not a short read, but it is a fast read, right? Because a lot, of course, a lot of adult books, or even young adult books, go upwards 400, 500, 600 pages. But for the world to be built, and for all of this to be happening within a span of 200 pages, and for it to tap into your inner child, and for it to not leave any plot holes, I was never left like, well, what happened over here? Well, what happened over here? I'm never left, like, there was never any event in the book where I was like, well, you could have wrote more on that. Like, I wanted to know more about that. Now, of course, everybody's imagination is gonna want more. Like, that's the beauty of like having an experience with a book. You're having a conversation with the author. You're having a conversation with all the characters. You're in there. And he did a damn good job of putting you in there in this second one and the first one. So yeah, I recommend this. Until next time, in the Ozma of Oz, and of course with the other the spoilers. And I'm not going to name them spoilers. These are just going to be, I'm going to break it down truly my perspective. If anybody's seeing this for the first time, I hope when you get the book, you can really judge this video as not being giving you any spoilers. I aim to just give you an overview, my perspective and take, and this is me documenting my journey along the way, and this is how it really is gonna go on. I'm gonna go into the third one, the fourth, the fifth one, and boom, 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 and then we're gonna keep it going. Until next time.